tightening.
Yup, you just shit yourself. That's what that is.
I could only see
Yep.
the white parts.
That's what that was.
eyes.
He just shit
The
himself.
scariest.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're gonna be watching 5 horror scary animations. This is made by what's the name? Wansee Entertainment. Wansee Entertainment. Wansee. Like Nancy, Wansee, I don't know. But the original video is gonna be down in the description. Go to his channel, subscribe, because he got over 2 million views on this video. So I'm gonna leave a thumbs up. And we're gonna hop right into this joint.
I was around 10 years old when this happened.
Okay.
Me and my 2 best friends and our parents were on a long vacation in Turkey in a very good hotel. One night, me and my 2 best friends, who I'll call Tim and Phil for this video, were staying at Tim's room in the hotel while our parents were in the hotel restaurant. The room wasn't bad, actually all of our rooms seemed safe. At least we thought it was.
Snacks on deck.
We were having a lot of fun watching Simpsons and playing Monopoly, but what happened that night still makes me have chills. So it was around 1 AM and our parents were late. Phil looked at them through the window and said, "They're still in that stupid restaurant."
Why he sound like that?
They told us they'll come back until 11 PM. I answered, guys? Someone is knocking on the door, Tim said. It's probably just room service.
Is he supposed to be Asian? Is that why he sound like that? Because he got the eyes. Alright, I'm gonna stop.
Phil said. Can we not open the door?
Smart.
I said.
Smart.
I was pretty scared in that situation. I was only 10 and my friends were only 2 and 3 years older than me. So we were all pretty much defenseless children in the room. Tim, who was the oldest, answered, "Oh, come on, it's just room service."
Did you order room service? I didn't order room service.
The guy on the other side of the door said,
"Hello. Can you please open the door?"
When he said that, we were all scared.
Now, any smart kid would immediately call 911. So I'm curious of what they about to do.
In a couple of minutes of silence, he said in a louder voice,
"Open the goddamn door!"
I started crying because I knew he was in room service, because if he was, he would have talked in Turkish. I was in shock as in that moment I realized that this strange guy is using a fake ID card to open the door. Tim grabbed both of us and we ran to the bathroom and locked the door.
Mistakes. You didn't call 911. You didn't take the phone in there if it was cordless with you or anything. And yeah, you'll be scared. Shit be running down my leg too. But like, don't run in the bathroom. That's like hiding in the closet. You're trapped.
Luckily, the guy wasn't fast to get us. He was screaming to open the door. I said, "Look, a phone!" Luckily, Tim's mom left her phone so we could call her if we needed anything. So Phil grabbed the phone and called his dad and told...
Why didn't you call 911? I understand call your parents, but bruh, call 911 first.
Told them the situation, and they came up to find the guy nowhere. They thought we were lying to them until the hotel manager showed them the footage.
Shit.
We found out that the man was stalking us and a couple other children. In a couple of days, police had finally caught him. He was a serial rapist and a pedophile.
Oh my God.
We were just lucky he wasn't fast to get us. I will never forget that night, as that was the worst day of my life.
This nigga was there the whole time. Bruh. I'm glad they didn't get caught.
When I was 15, my mother went out shopping and left me in charge of the house. It was starting to get dark and I realized my little brother was nowhere to be found.
Okay.
I asked my sister if she knew where he was and she said he had gone to the park around the corner to kick his soccer ball around.
Really?
Watched the house while I was gone and ran off to the direction of the park. When I got there, I was surprised to find the park completely empty.
He
I
gone.
called out my brother's name, but there was no answer.
He gone.
I started to get worried, and all of a sudden I heard a faint muffled noise coming from my left. I turned just in time to see a tall figure disappearing behind a large fence. I sprinted as fast as I could. When I came around to the other side of the fence, I saw something that almost made me choke in horror.
Oh my God, what was it? Oh my God!
Being dragged down the alleyway by a tall man.
Talking about, why is this the same motherfucker from the last video? Bruh, he out here, man. Y'all got watch your kids. Watch your brothers, watch your sisters. Them motherfuckers is out there.
I flew into a rage and tears
Go
of
fuck
anger
him up.
streamed down my face.
Go fuck him up. You
I
got
ran at
incredible
him.
Hulk
He must
strength
have
right
heard
now.
me coming because he turned around to face me and he dropped my younger brother. The tall man tried to grab me, but I was running at him so fast that when I slammed into
That's what
him,
I'm talking about.
it knocked him off his feet. He swore
stomp
and
him
tried
out.
to get back up, but I just started stomping on his face
That's what I'm talking
without
about.
stopping to ask questions.
Fuck
I
that
picked my
nigga.
brother up and ran as fast as I could back to our house.
Good job.
By this time, it was pitch black outside and my mother was home. She was frantic with worry, and when she saw the look on our face, she realized that something bad had happened.
Pause. Why was this little boy at the park by himself?
As I explained, my brother and I started crying, and my mom gave us both the biggest hug ever, and she cried with us.
That shit's scary.
Eventually, the police were called, but this guy was never found.
Creepy ass dude, man. What the fuck is this? Get off my screen.
This story takes
All right.
place when I was a junior high school student. One morning during summer vacation, after my father went to work, my mother and I decided to visit my maternal grandmother, who lived in a rural area. Since my grandmother's house was located in the countryside, getting there required making a left turn, then driving for 5 minutes through a narrow, one-car-wide, unpaved road.
Okay.
There were rice fields and forest on the sides of the unpaved road. As soon as we arrived, I greeted my grandmother, then went into my youngest uncle's room. I used to like visiting my grandmother's house
Grandma always got the best shit.
because my uncle was a huge gaming fan, and his computer was much better than mine at home.
Bro, that's how I'm gonna be when
So
I get
once
old.
I confirmed my uncle was at work, I turned on his computer and started playing Doom 3, which used to be the most popular game once upon a time. After playing the game for about an hour or two, my uncle returned from work. Upon his
Well, I thought he was like a girl.
arrival,
I don't know.
my grandmother asked him to take her grocery shopping.
Nah, it do look like a girl. I'm not tripping. It can't just be me.
Since my mother, my aunt, and I were visiting her house. So at about 7 p.m., they all drove to town to do some grocery shopping. I was super excited and waved goodbye to them. Since I think it is unnecessary to explain why I was excited, I'll just leave it. After enjoying about 90 minutes of free time, my uncle called. He said he was about to turn left on the road, but one of the front wheels was punctured, and asked me to bring him a new tire which was in the storage shed. As I said before, after making that left turn, it took about 5 minutes to drive through a narrow, unpaved single-lane road to see my grandmother's house, but
So-
it took about 20 to 30 minutes on foot.
Yeah, I was about to say, how long do it take to walk?
Now that I think
He a
about
little
it,
boy about to carry
it
a
was
whole
quite
tire.
scary to walk on that road, especially at night. It had no streetlights and was surrounded by rice fields and forest. It was almost 9 p.m., and that area got quite dark at about 8 because it was in the country. So to be honest, I was really scared.
I agree.
But not wanting anyone to know I
There ain't
was
no
at
street
home,
lights.
I decided to go. I grabbed the tire, left the house, and started walking along the unpaved road. I could see my uncle shining his car's headlights toward me. That said,
Okay.
he was still quite far away from me, and the headlights looked like
See, at least you got the confidence that, all right, he's right there. Like, I gotta go. I'm almost there type thing.
two big yellow dots. I was a bit relieved knowing my uncle and family were on the other end of this road,
I just said that.
but the night was dark, which
Don't
deepened
stop
my
and
fear.
look. That's how you get more scared.
You know, when you walk in the darkness, your eyes adjust, and you start to see unclear shapes. I felt like I could see someone standing in the rice field and someone sitting down, resting his chin on his hands and looking at me through the bushes in a cold sweat, and held my legs to keep them from shaking.
Now you're even more
scarier
scared
than being alone on a pitch dark night. And because of the fear and the delusion I had created, I remember feeling really dizzy. After walking for about 20 minutes, I looked towards my uncle's car and realized I was nearly there. Feeling happier, I rolled the tire faster. I rushed to hand over the tire to him as soon as possible, but saw something in front of me. I wasn't sure what it was
What the
because
fuck
it
is
was
that?
still a bit away from me, but it was something dark. Suddenly, I felt strange and slowed down. Since I wanted to determine what it was while still having some distance, I strained my head and neck trying to look carefully, but it was too dark. Although I was scared, I started to walk again, thinking nothing is going to happen because I have my uncle and family about 300 meters
See, that looks scary. And I know the neck and the head gonna turn, and little boy gonna get freaked out and leave that fucking tire, and he gonna be gone. I'm trying to tell you.
away. But when I got closer to it, I stopped because it became clearly visible. It was an old woman squatting with her mouth open,
Nope.
looking at the
Nope.
rice fields.
Nope.
I could only see the side of her face,
Nope.
but my whole body shivered
Nope. The
because
minute-
her blank facial expression with her mouth open was now clearly visible in the darkness.
Nope.
Without realizing it, I walked really close to the old woman.
The minute you make eye contact with this old lady, you are fucking dead. You are fucking dead.
For reasons I don't understand.
Oh my
Walking by
god.
without saying anything seemed even scarier, so I started talking
Don't
to
do
her.
it. Don't do
With a
it.
frightened voice, I asked, "Excuse me,
Stop.
what
Don't talk
are
to
you
strangers."
doing here at night?" But she did not respond and kept looking at the rice field.
No.
On the verge
No.
of crying, I shouted, "Excuse me!" She then looked
Nope. 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 Do you fucking see her face? Look at her face. She made eye contact with you. You about to fucking die. You about to fucking die.
at me, and I felt my heart tightening.
Yup. You just shit
Even
yourself.
though
That's
it
what
was
that
dark,
is.
I could clearly see she had permed white hair, and I could only see
Yup.
the white part.
That's what that was. He just shit
The
himself.
scariest thing were the huge wrinkles and stains covering her face
Oh
and
my
her wide
god.
mouth.
No.
I felt strange.
Run.
I was going crazy while looking at her.
Fuck the tire. And,
I had-
oh my. I didn't realize she didn't have pupils, so when the shits came down, it scared me a little bit. Like, I'm scared for this little boy right now.
Contact, but was looking down while she was looking up at me.
Oh
After
my
a few
god.
moments of eye contact, she turned her body toward me. Oh my gosh, I thought she was sitting down, but realized she had no lower body.
No.
She only had a torso and head which was
You know
supported
what?
from
That is your advantage. You better fucking haul ass. She ain't got no legs. She ain't got no legs.
the ground with 2 arms. A flood of thoughts crossed my mind, but I remember thinking, there is Satan right in front of me.
Go.
I felt like she was
Go,
going to
go,
run into
go,
me with
go,
her 2
go,
arms
go,
if
go.
I didn't move. So I grabbed the tire in my arms and sprinted with my eyes closed tightly.
I wouldn't have closed my eyes if she
Without
like tripped you with her
remembering how long
hand and
I'd been
shit.
running, I suddenly felt relieved.
Oh god.
It was the next morning, and I was in my grandmother's room. When I asked my mother what happened, she said she was waiting for me in the car and saw me sprinting with my head down, holding the tire in my arms.
He
and
fell.
suddenly fell off the road, causing my family to come out of the car shocked. After listening to my mother, I told her and my other family members what I went through. Thinking I had suffered a heat stroke, that evening my grandmother made me chicken soup. My uncle told me to stop playing horror games and wouldn't let me play Doom 3 anymore. From then on, I could only play a Star Wars racing game while staying at my grandmother's house. I still believe
Y'all saw that? I got the chills real quick.
it was not a ghost that I saw that day. It was just an illusion caused by my mental weakness.
It's loud. The imagination will kick your ass. Bruh. I can't.
About 10 years ago, my 3-year-old son and I moved to a house from our apartment. It was a very old building, and the inside of the house always seemed to be just a little darker and just a little colder than it should have been. Not long after we moved in, a friend of mine came to visit. The whole time we were sitting and talking, she seemed
He tried to get some cheeks. He put his son to bed.
very uncomfortable. When I looked at her face, I noticed that something in the other room had caught her attention. Her eyes grew wide and she said, "I have to go." I asked her what was wrong, but she refused to tell me. Her odd reaction was freaking me out, so I kept after her.
You can't just...
On her way out the door,
You can't just get scared and then just leave and not tell me, because I live here. Like, if it's an issue, like, come on now.
she finally blurted out, "This house is haunted." But she wouldn't tell me what it was or what made her think so.
You don't know
To this
priest.
day,
You don't know nothing.
she still refuses to tell me what she
Shit.
saw. About a week later, my 3-year-old son casually asked me who the old lady in the bathroom was.
Nope.
One day,
Nope.
I was leaving my house for work, and I got to the car and I realized I needed to run back in the house to get something. I walked into the house, and as soon as I got inside, this framed photo on the wall shot off the wall. It didn't fall down. It shot horizontally away from the wall,
How much it costs to break your lease? I'm moving. Fuck that.
and it landed on a mosaic table with enough force to break some of the tiles off of it. I felt like whatever was in the house was pissed, and that I came back in after it thought I had left for the day. After living in the house for about 6 months, I noticed a weird square cut into the boards on the deck.
You stayed in the house after the picture shot off the wall? I'm gone,
There
man.
was no handle, but I was able to pry it up. The hole was just big enough to fit through, and there was a ladder going down.
Nope, don't do it.
For some reason,
Curiosity kills the cat. That's a stupid saying, but it fucking kills people that's all curious and shit.
I found myself
He should have just closed it and put a rug over top of it. That's it.
in what looked like a homemade basement. It was basically just a room dug out of the earth, with no constructed walls or stone supports or anything like that. It was very dark, but I could see something over in the corner. It was a suspicious looking stone.
I thought it was an old
It
lady.
looked like one of those old headstones you see in cemeteries. Just then, some insects started jumping on me, so I got out of the basement as fast as I could and never went back. Now this is the part that affected me the most. It's also the reason we left the house.
Oh, now you
One
need
night I
to
was in bed laying on my stomach just about to fall asleep, and I heard someone walk into my room. The footsteps came from the doorway over to my bed.
Whoa, wait a minute. Back up. Back up.
Heard someone walk into my room. The footsteps came from the doorway.
Look at them toes. Oh my god. I'm weak. Oh my god. Bro, I done dropped my mic. Yo, look at them toes. Ah, my side hurt. Bruh.
I didn't realize until later that the fact that I heard the footsteps was weird because the room was carpeted. When the footsteps reached my bed, I felt someone put their hands on my back.
Oh
Two
no.
hands, just gently laid flat on my back and kept me there. I assumed it was my son. "What are you doing?" I asked, but there was no answer. I looked up. No one was there.
Nah.
I got up and checked my son's bedroom, and He was in bed fast asleep. We moved out soon after that, and we never looked back.
You almost got raped by a ghost. She rubbed your back, was about to move her hand down to your ass. A merry, scary Christmas. All right.
It was the night of Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And I decided to take a walk while the snow was coming down.
Stupid.
I love to do that during the Christmas season, just to see all of the beautiful decorations and lights that lit the city, which normally was quite dull and lugubrious and low-key due to the small population of the city that I lived in at that time. Christmas was the time when
Why does his voice sound like that? He's trying to make it creepy, but this is a little cringy. I don't know.
the city came to life, and I loved it.
I loved it.
As I arrived into town, it was busy due to all of the shoppers that were picking up those last-minute Christmas presents. As I glided past the Christmas carolers that stood on the side of the sidewalk singing, their voices beautifully echoing about here and there, as children played nearby. Laughing and having snowball fights added more of that Christmassy feeling to the jolly atmosphere. It reminded me of that special childhood time that I had growing up as a kid. I missed that. As my eyes glanced...
Time out. I just want to put this so we both know what we looking at. Y'all see how it's snowing, right? And y'all see the street. Y'all see the yellow line. And y'all see the sidewalk he's walking on. It's like bricks. How did they build this snowman? How did they build this snowman if not enough snow is falling down? The math does not make sense.
Eyes glanced up at the icicles that hung from the leafless trees overhead. I decided to cross the street to get me a cup of eggnog that was being sold at one of those stands. But as soon as I started to cross the street, out of nowhere came a large red pickup truck speeding past me, coming mere inches away from hitting me. I then found myself flat on my back, then being helped up to my feet by no other than Santa Claus himself, or should I say, a man dressed like him. Thank you, Santa, I said to him. He gave a little hint of a smile.
Why is his nose red? I don't think Santa Claus' nose is red. That's Rudolph.
And nodded. Then he reached into his large red bag and pulled out a box that was wrapped beautifully in gold Christmas paper. I thanked him and headed back home.
Okay, maybe he's a nice guy.
Halfway
maybe he's a
home,
nice guy.
Suddenly, I heard bells and the sound of hooves pounding the pavement behind me. When I turned around, there was Santa on his sleigh with reindeer leading the way. And up they went over and over the houses, vanishing quickly into the distance. I must have been a little shooken up from my fall and was hallucinating. Santa Claus? Flying reindeer?
Santa Claus?
When I finally arrived home, I tossed the present under the Christmas tree.
Well, you stupid. I'd have opened that on the way home.
Bed. Christmas morning had arrived, and I was excited to see the contents of the gift that Santa had given me. I ripped open the gift
iPhone XR?
as if I were a 5-year-old child again. But all that was inside was a piece of paper, some sort of certificate. When I read it, the look of horror displayed on my face. It was a death certificate that was dated the night prior, and it had my name on it.
This nigga died from the truck.
I dropped the box as my eyes shifted toward the mirror that hung above my fireplace. There was no reflection of me.
Oh
not
my
even a
God.
shadow. I was
Took a
dead.
turn.
I had been struck by that truck last night and didn't even know that I had died. Suddenly, there was a knock at my door,
Is the
so
Grim
I
Reaper?
opened it. There stood the same Santa Claus that helped me up and gave me the present. Is this some sort of sick joke and a magical illusion? I yelled in anger at him. His mouth finally opened as his baritone and raspy voice told me that
Look both ways before you cross the street. That's what Santa Claus should have said. But we're going to find out what he said.
I had to come with him. He then removed his Santa suit.
I said it was the Grim
revealing
Reaper.
His true identity. The Grim
I'm assuming these are good. These are really good. I'm actually going to subscribe to this channel. I'm assuming if the Grim Reaper show up, that means you go to hell? Or he just come collect all dead bodies? Like, I don't understand his full story or what his job is. But, bro, these stories are really good. Animation is done well. The story is told well. The voices, how they, like, just explain the story. And it's not like some people, like, they'll tell a story but, like, stutter and shit like that. Just make it weird. Make you not want to watch the whole thing. But this was actually interesting. It was good. My favorite one might have been that old lady in the forest with the little boy with the tire. Nigga. Bruh. I would not have stopped. The minute she made eye contact with you, you fucking dead, man. I'm trying to tell you. And then he fell. He fell. Oh, man. I want to watch some more of these. These are good. If y'all want some more of these Johns, man, let me know in the comments. We can do horror stories every week if you want to do it. I don't mind. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. This video is pretty long, actually. It might be like 20, 30 minutes. So thank you guys for watching to the end. If you did make it to the end, subscribe to the channel. The guy that made this video and this original video will be down in the description. So go subscribe to him. And I'm going to get about this John. Peace.